Welcome the anointed ones. Don't let your bank account fool you. Heaven's already stamped you as a high-value target. You better buckle up, because some of y'all are about to go from wallet anxiety to wire transfers, and it's going to feel illegal how fast it happens. But here's the twist. Sudden wealth doesn't just come with commas and confetti. It comes with spiritual warfare, psychological curveballs, and a whole new tax bracket of temptations. Let me ask you something real. What if the delay wasn't denial, but divine disguise? Because here's a fact most don't know. Over 70% of lottery winners end up bankrupt or broke within 5 years. Why? Not because money is evil, but because they were never trained to carry what they caught. And chosen one, that ain't going to be your story. This isn't just about money. This is about alignment, assignment, acceleration. God has been quietly upgrading your internal infrastructure for something bigger than status. He's not just preparing to give you wealth, He's preparing to trust you with it. And yes, your glow-up will confuse people. 1 minute they're ignoring you, the next minute they're Googling how to look rich without looking jealous. So if you've been feeling an unusual stillness lately, if your spirit's been low-key rehearsing the unfamiliar, if you've caught yourself checking your bank app even though you know there's only $5.16 in there, this message is your confirmation, because you're not just getting money, you're becoming a move of God in human form. Let's talk about it. Number 1. Sudden wealth is a spiritual test, dressed as a material blessing. Sudden wealth sounds like a dream until you realize it's actually a spiritual test in disguise. It shows up looking like a reward, but underneath the surface, it's a divine examination of everything you thought you had under control. When you finally get the money, when the accounts are full, and when you don't have to worry about bills anymore, that's when the real test begins. Because when you're broke, your choices are limited. You're careful, you plan, you pray. But when the options multiply, so do the temptations. And that's where most people fall. Sudden wealth doesn't just hand you luxury, it hands you power. And power is a mirror. It reflects your hidden motives, your secret fears, your old wounds, that craving to show off, that desire to be seen, that quiet hunger for validation. It all starts rising to the surface. And if you're not grounded, if your identity is still attached to what you didn't have growing up, then the wealth will own you instead of serve you. Some people think God gives wealth to show off His favor, but that's not entirely true. God gives wealth to test your stewardship, not to flex your status. It's not a trophy, it's a tool. And if you're not healed, you'll swing that tool around like a child with a sword, hurting yourself and others along the way. That's why before sudden wealth arrives, God usually allows delay, not to punish you, but to prepare you. He needs to burn out the greed, uproot the insecurity, and train your soul to be immune to ego. Because wealth in the hands of a broken person is like fire in the hands of someone who never learned to respect it. It doesn't purify, it destroys. This is why sudden wealth is less about celebration and more about preparation. It will reveal what you love, what you fear, who you trust, and what you still need to heal. And the truth is, many will pray for the breakthrough, but curse the exposure that comes with it. But the chosen one understands. If God is trusting you with this level of abundance, it means He already weighed your soul and said, you're ready. Number 2, money doesn't change you. It amplifies what was dormant. Money doesn't change who you are. It just gives the real you a microphone. That's why sudden wealth is so dangerous for people who haven't done the inner work. When the money shows up, it doesn't come alone. It comes with influence, with attention, with access. And all of that starts turning up the volume on whatever has been sitting quietly inside of you. If you were bitter before, you'll become reckless. If you were insecure, you'll start needing approval from strangers. If you were secretly power hungry, you'll start using money to control people. The money didn't create that. It exposed it. People love to say, when I get money, I'll finally be happy. But if happiness was missing before, wealth will only highlight the emptiness. Because wealth isn't a fix, it's a flashlight. It will shine on everything you didn't want to face when you were broke. Suddenly you'll start seeing your habits, your fears, your spending addictions, your craving for applause. And if you haven't mastered your impulses, you'll convince yourself you're just enjoying life when really you're drowning in distractions. That's why many chosen ones experience long seasons of lack before the breakthrough. It's not punishment, it's training. God gives you time to get free from the ego, the trauma, the unhealthy patterns. He watches how you act when no one's watching. Because if you can be faithful with little, you can be trusted with more. But if you're already using your last dime to impress people who don't care, what will you do when you have millions? Wealth will make your name louder. But if your character hasn't been built, the spotlight will feel like a curse. You'll question who really loves you. You'll second guess every yes. And if you're not rooted in truth, You'll start trying to become who people want, not who you actually are.